Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Zilliqa. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Primarily what we were looking for here is the potential of looking for an A, B and a C to the upside. The problem is we've started to fail to develop this the way we were looking to. So what we need to be cautious of is the fact that we could just have a corrective structure to the upside here and we could actually be starting to look to break down. So now that would kind of tie in with the idea of actually having a fourth wave in this location, looking for that potential to break down one more time for a fifth wave, which could look to actually bring us down towards a zone of the 0183 to the 00806 region. So this is still, just being looked at, and we need to just be careful of that fact that we could still see this continuation to the downside, and particularly with the fact the way we've not really formed the structure that we were looking for to the upside, and we are getting really close to taking some of these key lows. So this would be looking for that potential that we're not finished our corrective structure to the downside. Now, if we are completed into this low and we're looking for a bigger structure up here, the way that we'd have to look at it is that within the move, we have something like this, where we are looking at this as a completed move into this low, looking for this potentially as a 1 and a 2 here. The problem is we haven't really started to form good structure to the upside. And really what we need to do for looking for a bigger 5-wave move is actually breaking up towards the 06622 area. So there's a long way to go there. And we're going to discuss how this possibly could still happen, but it is starting to look less likely. So the thing is, if we do actually break down from here, what we could possibly see is a revisit of these lows here towards this zone of this 2168 to this 01774 region. So we need to bear in mind that there is still that potential we have a bigger corrective structure, which could bring us back down into these areas. Obviously, some key zones would be this previous low here of this 2134, which would actually tie in with a 50% retracement, as well as coming down deeper. If we start to lose 01774, basically this would mean that we have a higher chance of actually breaking this low and looking for those fifth wave targets. Okay, so what would we have to do to look for bullish continuation off of this low here? So now the only way that we can still look at it, and we were talking about this potential last time we did a video, was looking for the potential that we set a 1-2, and we're looking at this as another 1-2 here. Now the problem is, because of how the structures played out, it didn't actually follow through. So there is the potential that we could argue that within here we have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a diagonal pattern here. If this is the case, what we should be looking for is actually a wave 2 to come into play above this zone of this 2521. The problem is we've actually come lower than this 0.786 already, which is this 2751. So because of that fact, it is looking less likely already, but we need to just see if this actually does decide to turn around from here. What I would be looking out for here, then it would be looking to start to form 5-wave structure to the upside, looking for a 5-wave move up, a 3-wave move down, and then looking for that potential to continue to the upside, looking for this 1618 of this 04761. Now, if we lose this low here of this 2521, this whole count basically falls apart. So we'd have to get confirmation of a turnaround here and actually coming back and taking these highs, which are currently sitting at this 3620. From there, we would be looking for this target here of this 4761 for a third wave location. So we need to just be aware that there is, if we want to look for a bullish count off the back of this, this is the only real way I can see it at the moment, because of the fact that we do have, this very choppy move in the middle here. Now, it is possible this could be corrective to the upside, and we could see something like this as an A, B, and a C. So this is still in the cards, and we'll talk about that next. But this is the bullish way we'd want to see this move play out. And we'd want to see this basically extend out and start hitting some of these targets. If we did move up to this zone, what we'd be looking for is that fourth and a fifth. And then basically this third wave would then move up here. And then we'd be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth to the upside. And they would be looking to actually push up in a 5-wave move. But like I said, at the moment, the current structure is not looking good for this potential. Now, the other way we discussed about this move playing out was looking at either a more complex move here, where from here we had a W wave, this is an X wave, and then looking potentially for a Y wave to the downside. So this is still viable. And if we continue to stay below this zone here of this 3619, what I will be looking for is that continuation to the downside. So that 1-to-1 would actually bring us down here to this 2086. So we'd want to see how this move starts to play out. There is a little bit of overlap in this bit here, so it's making me think we could potentially either have some extension, so we're going to discuss that, or it could just be, forming a bigger corrective structure here, or something like a diagonal to the downside. So we're going to discuss all these options within the video. So just make sure you stay tuned. So this would actually look to bring us back down into the zone of this 2086. And then I also have this other box here, which would be a typical area if it is a flat correction. And what we could look for is pretty much between this 02294 and this 0192 area. So that would actually be bring us back into these lows over here. Now, if I overlay the other count on here, basically what we can see is there is some potential that within this zone there would actually be a 0.618 retracement, and then we have that 50% high, which would be here, the 02168. So if we did break down again here, potentially we could look to revisit this area, maybe even sweep this zone, and then look to progress to the upside after that point. And then that would be basically meaning that this whole move would then become a B wave, and we could still look for this move up towards this 4292 area if it's going to be a three-wave move, or higher towards the 06622 if we're going to get a five-wave structure developing here. Though we would need to see better structure coming in. For as long as we fail to, I am still looking for that potential to actually take these lows here at this 1527, but really until we actually break down below this low, we need to just be aware there is still a potential, regardless of how messy it is, to actually develop to the upside here. So we need to see how this zone actually holds out. If we were looking at that area, basically what we don't want to do if we're looking for that breakout is, sorry, that's the wrong one. That's 1-2. We don't really want to lose this 2521. If we do lose that, what my next thing I'll be looking for would be to see whether we actually have something more like this going on, where we have this as just an A wave. This is a ABC as a flat correction, in which case we could still find support here at this zone of this 2627 down towards this 2392 area. And what I'd then be looking for is the potential that this last move here is developing as some kind of a diagonal structure. So that would be looking at this move basically like this here, where we're looking at this as a whole move down here into this as a wave one. So basically one ABC into the as a wave one. This is a two. Then we have another diagonal here for ABC for the third, looking for that fourth wave and that fifth wave to the downside. Now, this is possible, but what we need to be careful of here is we could get something much smaller here, three as a fourth wave, and then a small fifth wave, which could look to bring us down towards this 50% of this 2627. The alternative is that within here we're extending out and we could get a much bigger move down. So basically this move would be looking to hold this zone, and then we could look to actually push up one more time towards this 3843. So I would be keeping an eye also on this 0.618, which would be coming down here towards 2499 if we do extend out a bit further. But as a diagonal, if we're looking at it in this manner, and we did have to move down directly, we could not cross the 2501 area. That would invalidate this as a diagonal to the downside. So this is looking at this as a C wave here. So we need to just be cautious with this move down because there is the potential it could actually look to extend out. Now, we were also looking out for, because of the fact we're talking about a fourth wave, we're looking out for that potential to form a bigger structure here as a five-wave move. So that key zone here would be this 1618 at this 1481, which could actually look to a sell-off down towards the zone of the 0364 to this 01198. So even if this is a diagonal here, what we need to be careful of is that when we get a move to the upside, it doesn't consist of three waves, in which case what we could then see is a rejection of this zone here. And this is slightly changed from when I last looked at it. Obviously, if we come down a little bit deeper, it will change this again. But really, this 786, this 3394, if we continue to get rejected below this area, we could actually be setting up for a deeper structure here, either as a five-wave move like this, where we get a bigger five-wave sell-off to the downside here, looking for this zone of this 1618 at this 1481, or it could just be a corrective structure where this is WX and then we get A, B, and C and come back down into the lower range again. So we need to just be aware that that is still a possibility of that breakdown. We need to just monitor this move and see exactly how it plays out for that confirmation. Now, the problem that we have here is if we want to talk about a breakdown, what we have to be careful of is something like this, where instead of looking at it as a diagonal, basically what we could have is this is a wave 1, 2 here, and we could be extending out in this blue third wave. And what that could look like here, if I come down into the smaller time frames, is basically that we could be getting some extension here, where we have a 1 and a 2 here, another 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the diagonal for wave 1 in this green count here, 2, and then we're actually still looking to break down towards this 2658 area, to this 2627. If we do break down like this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, what we'd have to be cautious of is revisiting this previous fourth wave here of this 2756. As long as we fail to break back above that and break back above this 2818, which would be this wave 1 low here, what we'd have to be careful of is that we could see continuation down. This could look to take us down into a sell-off towards the zone of this 2618 area, and that could then up 2618 to this 2577 area. That could then finish this green counter. But what we need to be cautious of is that if this is an additional 1212, we could see even further extension than I'm currently seeing here. I'm counting this potentially as a diagonal here. Possibly there's another series of 1s and 2s in here, which could look to sell off towards this 2376 area. If that's the case, what this could mean is that we start to see a bigger sell off here, and we could see this move even come down as low as this lower range here, which if I just throw this onto here, 1 second, could mean that we push down back towards this zone of this 211 to this 2 cent range. So this would be looking for that possibility of, this actually developing as a 5-wave move, which could then actually tie back into bringing us down into this lower area here where we're looking for a bigger corrective move to the downside, and that could look to actually take us down towards this zone here of this 1-to-1. So we can see that this would actually tie into coming back into this 20.02086 area. So that's what I'm just being on the lookout for here. If we do develop a bigger 5-wave structure to the downside here, where we start to extend out and we manage to break down towards this zone of this 02376, I'd be looking for this potential to actually break down. And instead of looking at this then as, a W, X, and a Y, then we'd look at this as A, B, and then a C wave to the downside. Once again, some interesting areas would be this 1992. So this would be just coming back down into that support zone. So really, we'd have to hold that support zone to look for continuation to the upside. If we fail to do that, then it could actually mean that we're going to start to break down deeper. Now, there is also the possibility that this could be a bigger corrective structure to the upside. Now, the way that that would look is actually something more like this. So this was looking at this as a W, X, and a Y. It's possible that we could still have some upside here where either this X wave isn't completed and we're forming a bigger B wave here or an X wave, and then we break down. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, really, I'd want to see this move break back above this high point, and until it does this 3622, we have to just focus on that potential that we could see continuation to the downside here where this actually breaks down deeper and we look to take out this low here at this zone of this 2127. The possibility of having a breakout here where this is a bigger corrective move that's not completed would be something like this, where we'd look at this basically as an A wave, this is a B wave, and then the C wave up. So this basically, as long as we hold this support zone here, 2760, 2392, if we do hold this zone and we complete down into this area, we can potentially still look for that C wave up. But if we fail to hold this 2329, I would be looking for those lower targets to come in. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you do not have an account. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.